is live, just so you know.
Yeah, we're competing with them. All
They're all in
right.
shorts though, so it doesn't matter.
They're all in shorts. That's true. All right, let's see if
Cool.
this is live here.
Hey, look at us. There we are. Cool.
There
So
we are. Yay.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
share that to this page. Um, live right now, bitches. Live right now. Hang out. I'll be on my page if that's not too confusing. Page. Oops.
Facebook changes its stuff
Cool.
every 5 seconds, I swear. Like it's a different situation every time.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very frustrating. Oh, hey everyone. How are you? This is Jen and I sharing to Facebook. It's super exciting. Um, wait, what am I looking for? Hang on. I got this. I got this.
Yes,
Jen
and
Low. I'm
then
gonna go there. I'm gonna share to my. I already shared to my personal page. Now I'm gonna share again to. How come I can't share to my band page? Oh, share to a group. More options. Share to a page.
hey Lori.
Boom.
Okay, people are starting to show up. That's awesome. Hi Lori, how are
Who,
you? We're
who's
just
here?
we're just getting going, the beginning of the broadcast. Hi Dory. Dory's on here. Yay, Dory.
Hey, Dory. I know Dory.
Mm-hmm. We've played New Year's Eve parties at Dory's house. I miss those.
Yes. Me
Mm-hmm.
too.
We're just getting going as
Me
we're
too.
sharing because sharing is caring, and
Cool.
and
I think I'm all shared up.
you're all shared up.
Yep. I think
If you
I'm
guys
good.
are on here and you want to share to your pages and to your friends and all that kind of stuff, we won't get mad at you at all. And Dory, since you're always
But
so good at letting us know how the sound is, make sure to tell us to turn it up or turn it down or dial it in, or you let us know. So.
nice, nice. All right. So I'm there. Let's see what happens.
Hey
I'm good.
Scott.
I'm like record time almost.
I think you're
I
the
feel like
fastest sharer in the
I
Northeast.
do hold I do hold that record now for the Jen Low show. To share to two pages in under 2.7 minutes.
Yeah, if you watch these broadcasts, this is Songs and Stories. I am here with my friend Tracy Walton, who's coming to us live from his studio, On Deck Studios, up in what exact town are you in?
I'm in Northfield, which is a borough of Litchfield.
Got it.
I call it the ghetto of Litchfield. So I'm in Litchfield, but I'm not that rich, is what it means.
Got it. All right.
You know,
That's
that
like
thing.
I've been there before. I've lived in Newport, but I've been in the third world. I've lived in the third world portion of Newport. I know what that
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
exactly. So no, it's Northfield's beautiful. It's there's one street light, um, and a volunteer fire department, and that's it.
Wow.
And like 17 houses.
Yeah, I've
Not
been I've been up there before, but
yeah,
I didn't know the exact name of the town, and I can't get anywhere without GPS. I'm just completely, lost without it. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah.
You wouldn't do well with my iPhone 6, where the GPS now, like I'm on a major highway and the GPS has me like 2 miles away, like driving through the woods, the little like triangle thing, and I just
That's
have no
Apple's
idea
way of
what.
telling you it's time for they
Yeah,
want you to get a new phone really bad.
exactly.
Yeah, so
Really bad.
hi, Rusty. Good to see you here. Yes, superheroes abound. So a lot of people. Hi, Steve. A lot of people want to know when I do these. How do I know these amazing individuals? How do I know these superhumans? So Tracy and I don't know exactly how we actually met. Do you know
I
how we
don't.
met?
I don't either. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we actually met.
I
I
mean, it
can't
was almost
remember.
like it was just like one day you were simply in my life, and that was a happy moment. And I was like, yes, Tracy Walton is in my life.
Yeah,
um,
I don't remember. I think I know we golfed pretty early on.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and yeah, I don't know where we met actually. Through music.
yeah. Definitely through music. Anyway, Tracy is a multi instrumentalist. His primary instrument is bass and upright bass. If I say anything that's
You
incorrect, just cut me off and yell at me.
so far so good.
And he's got a studio, like I said, up in the Northeast and not quite Litchfield, called On Deck Studios. He produces lots of amazing music, including his own. He and I have done many a show up in the Northeast together. You have played bass with me on occasion. You've been one of the sensitive dudes. You've
Yes.
certainly been part of the super sensitive Dudapaloozas because that was super. You were part of several of those.
Yes. Yeah, those were really fun.
Yeah, and also you've done several of my writers and the songwriters in the round over at J. Renee Coffee Roasters in West Hartford.
Yeah,
Plus,
that was a great series.
yeah, plus Bell of the Fall, which is your band, not band, band, not band, band, not band, COVID. We don't know what's going on right now in the world. Has played
Sure.
with, we played private parties together over at Dory's house and a couple other things. So that's the long and the short how Tracy and I know each other. And did I make any mistakes there, Tracy?
No, I think it was cool. You actually pretty early on played on a record release of mine at Infinity Hall with my
Yeah.
band.
I wonder. I
Um,
think that's how we met. Actually, I think you needed percussion on something, and Chip, who introduces everybody to everybody,
yeah.
introduced you to me, and he's like, there's a guy named Tracy, blah blah. I think he needs like some shaker, or I because I played on somebody's. That's what it was, where I played kit and percussion with you for your stuff at Infinity.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that was the
That
original
might have been where we
connection.
met. That
Yeah,
might have been, yeah. I
yeah,
think that might have been, I think I came to your house for a rehearsal, is where we met.
yes. And then I came to your house for a rehearsal.
Yes.
That's
So that's it. Now we have solved the mystery.
it all goes back to Chip. Chip Penny is the center of the universe. I swear. He's introduced me
He
to
is.
legitimately everybody. So thank God for Chip because I know
And I'm
you.
I met Chip way back at the Yukon Jam sessions when he was still at Yukon. I used to sub for Floyd Kellogg
Mm-hmm.
on bass.
Mm-hmm.
He had that kind of the at the student union. It was a killer jam session. Mark Small was there. He went on to be with Michael Bublé. Jimmy Oldblow would be there sometimes. Josh Dion was kind of his
Yeah.
gig. Yeah, and there would always be like 17 sax players. We'd play in the gig, and it would, I'd play bass, and there'd be a 40-minute blues that I'd have to play, while every sax player took a 10-minute solo.
Yeah, Connecticut has produced some remarkable musicians, and you and Chip
Good
are
times.
definitely two of them. So, um, so
Thank you very much.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's been one of my absolute pleasures and joys to have lived up there in Connecticut for 10 years, and to get to know all you guys and to play music. I say next to you, not with you, but next to you.
Oh, you were
And
right in there.
yeah, so it's a total pleasure. Like it's funny because for whatever reason, I think if you're coming from another place in the country, for me, I moved from Atlanta to Connecticut, and it's a
Yeah,
small, it's a small little state, right?
sure.
And it's a small state, and so you think, oh, there's not really going to be a music scene, and there's quite the music scene in Connecticut. And it's not because like some people would say, oh, well, New York's just down the street. Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, New York's down the street, but like, University of Hartford, the school of music over there is amazing. Like the musicians that come out of there are just fantastic. So,
Yeah, the
um,
University of Hartford is a big part of it. I think honestly, the guy I studied with, Dave Santoro, was a big part of it. He was at the Academy
Mm-hmm.
and the Hartford Conservatory, which is where I studied,
Mm-hmm.
and he was at UConn. So he was he kind of worked with everyone, every one of those people you'd mentioned. Dave was kind of in there with,
Yeah.
and turned out a bunch of killer players, you
Yeah.
know. And then, like you said, Hartford with Jackie McLean and that whole scene. Yeah, so there's, Connecticut has some serious people for sure.
Yeah, I mean that was before my time, but still, like I feel like by the time I landed on the shores, I got the benefit of all you guys. I was like, every single person I met was just like, "Are you kidding me? You guys are all ninjas."
Yeah,
So,
cool. Yeah.
Adam Isidore says that Tracy Walton is one of the gems of Connecticut, and I appreciate that. I agree
Is
with
he?
that. I agree with
And
that. And not only, I think he's one of the gems of the universe. That's what I think. Yeah.
thank you very much. So
Yeah.
Adam Isidore, I met at, and it's kind of a Connecticut connection as well. Adam, I met at the National Guitar Workshop, which I went to in 2000. And at first I thought it was, I resisted for a few years because I thought it was like a kumbaya camp and just like everyone playing acoustic guitars. And finally someone was like, no, no, it's really a serious camp. And that's where I met Izzy. And that place, the faculty, there was just like this moment where somehow they hired all this faculty for like $500 a week. And we all worked like 80 hours a week and for 7 days straight for like 6 weeks in the summer. But there was a bunch of just monster people on the faculty.
I remember you telling me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, so from that, like Rich Hinman was there. He's with Katie Lang now. Tobias, Ralph is with oh a bunch of monsters.
Yeah.
Like everywhere you look, there's a workshop, person. And then never mind the clinicians. I played with Vernon Reed, David Bromberg, Pat Metheny was there. Like
Wow.
it was a really badass place. So
Yeah.
Izzy comes from that, and that's
Nice.
for me. That was a big part of my development as a player and as a teacher. Just jumping in there and being a bass player, there'd be two bass players on faculty. There'd be 2 straight nights of faculty concerts where it'd be like, okay, you just met. You're gonna play. You're on 15 songs tonight.
Nice.
Go,
That's
and
so
like,
great.
yeah, it's like, whew, these, and again, we're talking like just monsters, like
Yeah.
Terry Cyrick, or Cyrick. I call him Cyrick because I just think it sounds cooler. It's a cooler name. Um, yeah, a bunch of monsters. So that's shout out to.
Nice. Nice. Very cool. So let's see. I would love to hear a song since you're talking about, playing. Um,
Cool.
yeah, Adam just said house band exclamation point. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
Tracy, I love your songwriting. You're one of my favorite songwriters. And my sister was asking me today. She said, "Well, like, what kind of stuff is he gonna do?" And I was like, he's got this like really cool, sort of like Bruce Springsteen sort of vibe to him, but like Bruce Springsteen playing the Nebraska record, that kind of a thing, which is one of my
Cool.
favorite records of all time. So I hope
Mine as
that's a
well.
compliment for you because
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that's
he's
one.
one of the best songwriters of our time. So,
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite records for sure.
mhm.
Yeah, definitely coming out of that spot. So, now I feel like I have to play something Springsteeny.
No,
Um,
play what you want to
yeah,
play. You play what.
yeah, yeah, cool. Um, yeah, let me play this one. This is a tune. I actually wrote it for a friend of mine. I never actually told him I wrote it for him, and I probably never will. But it was a friend of mine who was kind of struggling in life and struggling, with a significant other and the whole thing. And Yeah, it's kind of a fictional look at that. Most of my stuff is fiction. I kind of come from the David Bowie school that like I don't need to. I live enough reality, so I write fiction. You know.
Nice.
So let's see. See if I can remember this song. Some say life's a game of give and take, and forgiveness is divine. While a good man learns from his mistakes, I know that love isn't blind. Some folks say you must learn to forget if you hope to get by. But our house was built with many, many pains. I must try. It's a hard road to toe at the least when it's built on a lie. But I'll fill in the holes, and despite being afraid, be a better man today. Some say you should only practice what you preach. Actions speak louder than words. But our house was built with many, many pains, so casting stones would be absurd. And the water runs cold and deep when it's built on a lie. If you throw me an oar, I will row until I break. Be a better man today. So as we question till death do us part, and what becomes of our seed, I will not give up on you, my love, that I promise faithfully. And the water runs cold and deep when you're swimming for your life. If you throw me an oar, I will row until I break. Be a better man today.
If you throw me an oar, I will row until I break. That's a great line. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. If you were doing one of those drive-in, you know about the drive-in shows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all everybody be beeping their horns right now.
Nice. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems like that's for yeah, I don't know. Seems like for a bit that might be the deal. Drive-in shows,
I
you
want to
know?
do one. I've had friends of mine that are doing them, and I'm so in. I either want to go watch one and beat the crap out of my horn.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, lately in the last like couple years, I've gotten really into motorcycles, and I started coaching
Nice.
like new riders and stuff like that. And there's a parking lot where it's called there's a range where you learn how to ride a motorcycle very safely,
Okay.
and it's not far from my house. And I was telling my friend Jack, I've been working with this guy Jack, and I said we should do like a mini Sturgis where you ride up on your motorcycle. You can stay 6 feet apart. We put a stage out there, and we do like a mini concert. Do you know? Are you familiar with Sturgis? Where it's like
Yes.
Sturgis is the
Yeah.
giant one, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this could be like a mini Sturgis. We probably could get 500 motorcycles in this parking lot if we do it right and safely. So
Nice.
I think this might
I
be
just
something I
I
may try to achieve. I don't know if I need a permit or what, but it would be fun.
yeah, I just sold my Harley this year or last year.
Mm.
I had it for whew, yeah, I bought it in like 89.
Mm-hmm. What'd you get? What'd you have?
I had a lowrider,
Mm-hmm.
an FXR. It's a great bike. I just stopped kind of riding it.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I learned to ride very unsafely, which was basically my dad just bought us like a Suzuki 90.
Mm-hmm. Like a dirt
and
bike, you
let
mean?
yeah, and let me and my brother have at it. And my first ride, I literally just dropped the clutch, wheelied it straight into the house. Um, that was literally my first ride on a motorcycle. Just straight into our aluminum sided house, put a big dent in it.
Nice.
But then I got much better.
I'm thinking I'm seeing future collaboration on a song about motorcycle riding and
Yeah,
being a
yeah.
kid and doing the stupid things you do when you're a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then I got into like an RM, 125, and yeah, I had bikes my whole life. So
Yeah, I haven't done the dirt bike thing yet, so I've kind of gone opposite of everybody else. Like
sure,
I hear these stories all the time as far as how a lot of people started on dirt bikes. Almost everybody that I
it's
talk
way
to.
cool. It's way cooler to crash in grass. I found, so like, so I felt like yeah, as a kid, I was way happier to be like in a
Hmm.
field when I
Yeah.
just dumped it completely and
Yeah. Well, we get a
um,
lot of experienced riders who have to take the course here in Florida to be legal, to be street legal. They've been riding their whole lives on dirt bikes or whatever, and they want to be legal here in Florida so they don't get pulled over. It's a totally honorable thing to do.
sure,
And I just coached a class last week and made friends with this guy who is a huge dirt bike rider. So he's like, we go on Sunday mornings. He's like, come out and ride with us. I was like, I don't have a dirt bike. He's like, we're gonna get you a dirt bike. We're gonna get you going. I was like, yes. So I'm
nice,
so excited. I get to get on a dirt bike at a couple like next Sunday. So
yeah,
yeah,
have
I'm pretty
fun.
excited about it. So I'm gonna have. I think I'm so obsessed with it that I'm gonna have like a garage full of two-wheeled and three-wheeled things. I already
Yeah,
have two motorcycles, so
nice.
been
Just checking.
music and motorcycles. I think we have a request.
Uh-oh.
Steve Dunn is asking for Many Worlds Collide. Are you prepared for that one by any chance?
I can do it.
Yeah.
I'm never prepared, but I can do it probably. You want me to play it now? Is
I
that
would love
are we
that. Yeah.
okay? Cool.
Yeah. And then when you get done doing that, I'm going to ask you a bunch more questions so you can prepare yourself for that.
Nice. So this is one. It's another one of fiction. I was trying to make myself look smart and reading a book on physics, um, which is way over my head. But there was a cool article on the many worlds theory. Um, so I was like, man, I wonder if I could turn that into a pop song. Like, are there any pop songs about physics? Um, and I feel like Brian May, being an astrophysicist, might have written some. But as far as I know, this is its own genre of physics pop.
My
Um,
friend Rusty Edwards would probably enjoy this. He's like a brainiac.
nice,
He's a musician
nice,
slash brainiac.
cool,
He's probably going to maybe help us list other songs about physics. But in the meantime,
nice,
we're going to
nice.
listen to this one
In the
about physics.
meantime, this is the many worlds. It's about the many worlds theory. So at this point, I've put it out there that this is the only song in the genre. So even if there are other songs are there, now there's a world where I'm the only person who plays physics songs. It's one song, and if that's your thing, that's you just listen to it
That's
over and
awesome.
over again.
And we're
And at point,
privileged to hear it.
yeah,
This is, yeah. Okay,
and
I
at
love
point
that.
zeros at 0.003 cents, that song would make me a fortune because it'd be the only song physics people could listen to. It's a good world, that other world I just invented. So let me see how this goes. There's many worlds and they're all true. The one I fell in love with you. And some we laughed, we cried and danced. Some worlds had other plans. There's one where we never met. At least it hasn't happened yet. There's even one where we are friends, but the tension never ends. I want you to fly to the world that satisfies you. Go there knowing I often think about you, if only for a night. we could find forever. May this be the night. Many worlds collide. As many worlds as there might be, in one you fell in love with me, in one you always run away, most of them you decide to stay. There's one where you're always blue, there's nothing I can say to you. In a few you're forever young, wish I could find my way to one. I want you to fly to the world that satisfies you. Go there knowing I often think about you, if only for a night. We could find forever. May this be the night. Many worlds collide. I want you to fly to the world that satisfies you. Go there knowing I often think about you, if only for a night. We could find forever. May this be the night. Many worlds collide. Many worlds collide.
Yes, sounds
Thank
so
you.
good. If you guys are digging my friend Tracy here, use the thumbs up and the heart emoji. Just rock it. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Just press it a million times, a million hearts.
Nice.
So Rusty, my friend Rusty, who you would love, he says electromagnetic spectrum song, and then he says
Okay.
Mutual Core by Bjork.
Okay.
And then Steve Dunn says this is a Van Morrison caliber song. That's what he's saying. That's a huge compliment.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree
I'm
with
just
that.
not as angry as him, you know? Not as pissed off as Van, you know? Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'd be
Van's
really,
angry. He's
yeah,
super angry.
so pissed at everyone. Damn.
I'm so loving hearing you play these songs because
Thank you.
I've been in your presence while you've played them in the past, and they've always made me so happy. So this is making me really really happy. Lots of joy going on right here for me personally. So cheers to
Thank
you for that.
Thank you. That's been the one cool thing, you know, not one, there's been a few, I guess, or whatever, but one of the cool things with COVID is that I have just been kind of hanging around playing tunes again and you know, I actually did one live stream. I did my entire first album, which was really cool. You know, it seemed like something, you know, rather than just like, hey, I'm gonna go on and talk nonsense and play songs. You know,
Let's talk a little bit about where people can find your music because I know you have some solo records out, as well as I know you've done a collaboration, Belle of the Fall, a band called Belle of the Fall, where you have, I believe, 3 records out.
yeah. So
And we were before we came on live here, we were talking about the third of those that you're super proud of. So tell us a little bit about that whole journey and where we can find your music and where we can download stuff.
cool. So in Izzy, speaking of Adam Isidore, was in a band of mine called Black Lab Project, and that was me, him, Rich Hinman, was kind of the core of that trio. And that turned into basically, and I was the songwriter of that band, and it was kind of cool. Let me kind of figure out my thing, and then finally put my name on it when I felt like it was better. So then I went to Tracy Walton and released 3 solo records. which can all be found on probably Bandcamp is the coolest spot where like, if you really want one, then that's where I see the most, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And for those three records, Moderately Unknown, which Many Worlds Collide was on, the third record, which I'm kind of the most into. I think it's my best record. Um, I did one show to promote that album, and it was at the Warner Theater. Julia sat in. We did three songs, and the next day we formed Bell of the Fall
Mm-hmm.
and said, like, that was super cool. Like, there's a thing, something just like, happens when we sing together, and it was really cool. And like, um, so that was it. So I just released the record and said, okay, I'm done. That's cool. Great. I played one show for all those songs. Great promotions. And we started a new band.
Mm-hmm.
And Bell of the Fall re-recorded Many Worlds Collide for the first album. We took one of my songs, one of hers, and then went forward from there. And we released the record Earthbound, Rise Up, which did really well. And that band we traveled all over. We toured Canada, all over the country, played festivals, um, and then we released our third record, and we kind of just hit the wall,
Mm-hmm.
and didn't really promote it much. um, and then it kept kind of. I think we just released that. I don't know. Is that, yeah, I think we just released that in November.
Mm.
Um
So you
sounds
release it in
about,
November, and then essentially the poop hits the fan, right?
yeah, like we
Yeah.
kind of were dragging our feet anyways,
Yeah.
and then everything went to hell. And so and it's yeah, I think it's got some of the best songs I've ever written on it. There's a song, blah, 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 God, what is the song? I just totally lost it. But there's a really good song on that album. Uh, wow, that's weird. I
That's a
can't think of what
scene.
the
That's what
song
we
is.
call a senior moment, right there.
Yeah, it is. I have a lot of those. Wow, it's bad. Um, but anyways, yeah, I think it's a great record. Those you can go to bellofthefall.com,
Mm-hmm.
and that just goes straight to us. We handle all that, CDs, the whole deal. Um,
Can you
yeah,
actually download it from that too?
Yeah, you can download it straight from our website, and the
Nice.
whole deal.
Yeah.
The Heart of Alone is what it is.
The Heart
The
of
Heart of
Alone.
Alone is one I've been trying to write, a contrapuntal song,
Mm-hmm.
with counterpoint, and and they're hard. It's hard to, I don't know, for me at least it was hard to just do, um but I'd been after it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was sitting there and I said to myself, I'm gonna write, because I write a lot of different ways, and I like to just try different stuff. Again, I'll say, like, okay, I'm gonna try to write a song about quantum physics, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This one, I said, I'm going to put pen to paper, and I'm not going to pick the pen up till I'm done writing.
Hmm.
And I almost always write from guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and I start there almost always. And I come up with something I like, a chord progression I like, or whatever, and then a melody, and then like the kind of Paul McCartney style of
Mm-hmm.
just humming gibberish over that, which then turns into a word, which then turns into a song. For this one, I just put pen to paper and wrote, and literally the whole song just spilled out. I kind of, I was almost a little subconscious, boom, 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 writing, 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 and all of a sudden it was like, boom, I'm done. And I was like, wow, there's the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
Both parts. There's a whole, like, and her part was there, the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing, the harmonies, the whole deal. And it's this really cool song. So check that out if you're so inclined. So
Yeah.
that's it. Bandcamp, bellofthefall.com, and then whatever. If you want to, you can stream it for free. Do your thing.
So Bandcamp is where Tracy Walton is, and then
Yes.
Bell of the Fall. Okay.
.com. Yeah, and we're on Bandcamp as well.
Okay.
Just from our website, we even
Mm-hmm.
get more than we do on Bandcamp. So that's it. If
Of course.
and
Yeah.
and hey, these days every nickel counts.
And then let's talk about yeah. So everybody go check out both all the records. That sounds like 6 records. Yes, to
Hmm.
go 6. There's lots of music. Tracy's got all kinds of stuff, but all of it worth Uh, yeah, he's got all kinds of great stuff to listen to. Yeah, Aaron, hit me with your best shot or coconuts. I like coconuts. Not my song, but hope you guys are well. Um, so I can see there's a whole bunch of guitars. I see a bass behind you. I see, an SG behind you, all kinds of stuff, right? Tell us about the studio.
Yeah.
What's going on right now? Are you able to have anybody come and record? Are you doing virtual stuff?
So I was doing a bunch of virtual stuff. The room I'm in that you see um, is my live room. My control room is over there. And the cool part is I didn't design it this way for any other reason than it seemed like a cool spot over there to have a sliding door to go out into the wilderness. I set this studio up with the vibe of it would be like a retreat studio where it's out in the middle of the woods. It's really cool. It's vibey, the whole thing. Turns out though now it's become really cool where I can just have people, I meet them out front, I wave from the deck, say, hey, good to see you. I'll see you around. I'll meet you back. So they just walk around. They go through the slider. This over here is the control room. The door is closed. I tell them, put your headphones on. They do, and we're working. So
Wow,
it's
that's really
it's
cool. So you're the COVID studio.
it's worked out where it's really cool. Like I can completely social distance and have, like at first, I brought Stephen Peck, who does a bunch of drumming here, and and I was like, it's no different. Like you come in the front door usually and say
Yeah.
hey, and then you walk in and put headphones on, and I talk to you through the headphones. So
Right.
it's totally cool. So yeah, so that's kind of been it. And I was really rocking this year, like crushing it. Like I was busier than I could be. And then this happened, and it was kind of we had, like, okay, is the world coming to an end? I had a bunch of records I needed to mix, which was I got caught up. Um, but then recently it's starting to pick up again where
Good.
I'm making records and I've got a bunch of really good stuff coming out from people, which I'm excited about. I started doing a lot of videos as well. And I've always been into video, but I just kind of was like, yeah, let's, let me up the level and up the gear and that's been like a really good move for me. And then I'm doing a lot of video work. I'm working on probably 3 videos right now.
So are
Um,
you like, cuz that's what I've been doing as far as I've put out 3 songs. Actually, Jeff Belcher is producing for me up your way.
cool. Yeah.
I think you guys probably know each other.
Yeah, I know
And so
Jeff.
Lee Sylvester's on the record. Actually, like me and Lee and Chip and Jeff, we've all been collaborating, and we put 3 songs out, and we're about to put a fourth out, which is actually going to be it's a duet with me and Lee.
Cool.
And I told him, I said, I mean, I'm incredibly grateful to put music out and have them want to invest all this time into it. It's been so much fun. Um, but I said it really doesn't make sense to put music out unless maybe you put a video with it. So I only wanted to put a song out if it had a video tied to it. So I've been creating my own videos. I've been doing it in Final Cut Pro.
Cool.
And so, are you doing live stuff? Or are you like
I'm
editing?
doing
Are
it.
you?
I'm doing everything. So I have, I bought some really good cameras,
Mm-hmm.
gimbals, lights, the whole deal. So it's part of the studio now, is that we're a full on videography
Nice.
place. So
Nice.
yeah, I just did one for a metal band where most of them I'm producing the album as well, and then we just make a video as well. Some have
Very
been in
cool.
the studio, some
Mm-hmm.
have been on location. We just did a really cool one in this converted barn that I shot. There's a
Yeah.
band called 010. It's going to be a killer video. Girl Christy Flagg we did one for her out in Washington. We got up at 4:30 in the morning on the first sunrise, and the footage looks amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm shooting them, editing them, and the whole thing,
That's so cool. Yeah, it's I'm shooting myself and then editing everything, and it's a challenge for sure. I'd love to. I
Sure.
wish I had a little help with with the shooting of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I will
No, it's
say that my sister's been awesome. She's been here for me. She's been helping me do like my hair and makeup, which is cool.
nice.
And
Yeah, and
that makes a big difference. Sheila would be proud. So, um,
yeah, no, absolutely. At the same time, I put in the old studio that was downstairs here. I converted into like photography, video. So there's a green screen down there.
oh wow, okay.
So I'm doing that kind of work as well. And
You're serious. We should consider. I'd love to have a conversation with you, just like tech talk. Not necessarily here because I don't think anybody really wants to hear about videography tech talk.
sure, sure. No, we can talk for sure.
So, well, that's great. I'm glad that you're staying busy and doing all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people, so at one point I said I've been reinventing myself. But I think the more that I think about it, I feel like I've been more discovering what's already been there and nurturing it
Sure.
because I finally had the time, right?
Yeah.
Because for so long I'd been running around for everybody else but myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
with different jobs, different marketing jobs, and different brands, and being a slave to those jobs and those brands. And then, this pandemic laid its head on our doorsteps, and all of those jobs disappeared. So, and some of them were like, "Yeah, I'm not aligned with these guys anymore, so it's time to part ways, shake hands, and say later." So, it's been super fun. Like, I'm learning how to do all kinds of stuff with video. Learning how to fix motorcycles. I never thought I would do that. Like, I can pull a carburetor out and fix it and put it back in.
Nice. There you go. Cool.
Yeah, I just replaced. I mean, not a big deal, but I just replaced the battery on one of my motorcycles this morning. So, but just stuff like that, and just figuring it out, like, and
Sure.
it's so therapeutic and wonderful for my brain and my soul, and so it's really cool. So I love to hear that
Yeah.
you're doing so many things, and just like, it sounds like you're being authentic and true to yourself, which I applaud you for that big time.
Yeah, I think I started that. I mean, for me, I started that a while ago. And some people are commenting here. I forgot about that. I'm gonna try to multitask. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Um, um,
Take your
yeah, I
time,
think
answer any questions that they want.
yeah, yeah. So someone was saying it's actually it's from a guy Monty Volofsky. This was actually their Many Worlds Collide was their wedding song.
Oh, I love that.
Which was cool. That's been it's been that was their first song, which was really cool.
Wow, that's an
Yeah,
honor. That's a
yeah, so
huge
as a
honor.
songwriter,
Yeah,
it's cool,
yeah, big time.
Um, so yeah, I think, and I've always been a little bit this way of the kind of Neil Young fashion of like, once I'm not into it, I'm just not into it, and I'm not going to do it anymore,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also, being a professional musician, I tell people, like, for me, it's probably the last time, and the last job I had, like real job, was like in whatever, 1989. Um, where I delivered furniture, and I got
Mm-hmm.
fired because I couldn't wake up in time. And they said, "Hey, if you come in late again, we're gonna fire you." And I was late the next day, and that was that. And then by 24, I guess, was the last time I haven't claimed being a musician on my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so by definition, that just means that like I had to hustle,
Mm-hmm.
and at first you just like, people call and you're like, yep, I can do it. And I did, like I was just telling someone, I literally took my first job, not my first job, I shouldn't say that. I took one of my first teaching gigs. I first taught bass and I had no idea what I was doing. So I did that, but I could at least play bass. But then I took a job teaching guitar and I didn't really even play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I'll just learn as I go and I can
Mm-hmm.
stay ahead of the kid in Mel Bay. And I was a musician, so I was like, I'll be cool. And then I literally took a
In
job as,
Melbay.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like I could stay ahead. I could play cockles and mussels as good as any damn kid, you know? Um, so then I got
uh,
offered a teaching gig, and it was a good teaching gig, and I didn't want the gig,
mm-hmm.
but they were trying to get me there, and the only position they had for at first was as a drum teacher, and I didn't
Mm.
play drums, but I was like, yeah, cool, I play drums, I'm in, you know. I'm like, again, I'm saying to myself,
I
I
could
can
stay
fake
ahead of
it,
the kid in
I can stay ahead.
Melbay. Boom chaka,
Exactly.
boom chaka.
Yeah, exactly. So I had 2 months. I shed it. I played as much as I could, and I kind of became, yeah, I can play drums, okay, you know. I get there, and literally the first kid sits down, and he's like, I'm like, so what are we doing? You know, what are you checking out? He's like, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of like Dennis Chambers, and I'm like,
I'm screwed.
yeah, like I'm done. Kid was a killer. Kid was a monster. I was like,
I got
so I
nothing.
said, yeah, it's like, so anyways, I'm a bass player. Um, at the time, this was, I was whatever. I was a professional bass player, and I was like, I'm just gonna work with you, and we're gonna work grooves and whatever, and it all worked out.
I
Um,
bet he was. Did you play bass with him?
yeah, no, it was great. They
I
were
bet he
great
was so
lessons.
happy to play with a good bass player.
Yeah, and it was cool. It all worked out.
That's a lot of lesson right there. Because like, how old was he?
He was a senior in
Yeah,
high
so he
school.
probably never played with a good bass player in his life,
Yeah, yeah.
with the
So it
exception of
was
maybe playing with records, right?
sure.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so it all worked out. And So at some point, though, I got to a point. I kind of forgot where I was going with this, but then at some point, and even the workshop, I never now. I'd be like, you want me to work for 80 hours for $500? You're out of your freaking mind. Like, there's no chance. And
Um,
even then, I kind of was like, you're out of your mind. But I met Izzy and we played frisbee golf till like 5 in the morning, and I was like, cool, man, I'll hang out. This will be fun. Um, but eventually it got to a point where I was like, yeah, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't
mm-hmm.
need to play. I'm not playing a $75 gig anymore.
Yes,
Like
I
I'm not
understand
doing
that.
it.
Yep.
I'm not like, I don't want to make rap records. I don't like
Yeah.
rap music, like if so when people call, I'm like, I just don't make those records,
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so I've been kind of chasing what I want to do anyways. And like, I wanted to get into video. So I went out and said, okay, cool. I'm going to buy a bunch of killer cameras and get into video.
Yeah. That's funny
So
because
yeah,
when I used to live in Atlanta, uh, I was playing all the time. I was full time, and I mean, I mean, 7 nights a week playing
sure.
all the time. And Beyonce decided she wanted to have an all girl band.
Okay.
And so they put out a call for all musicians in like LA, all female musicians in like LA, Atlanta, Houston, and I think New York. Those were like where the calls were. And so like the audition people traveled to each one of these cities and they were looking for bass player, drummer, percussionist, piano player, blah blah blah, but it had to be all female. So a bunch of people called me up and they're like, "Hey, you should go audition for this thing." And I was like, "Okay." So my friend Marcy Chapa, who lives in Houston, I called her up and I was like, Marcy's a certified ninja on percussion. I mean, she's insane, insane. I actually don't know a better percussionist than her, like maybe period. She's just beyond.
Cool.
And so, like, her independence is like radical. Anyway, I called her and I was like, "Are you gonna go audition for the Beyonce thing?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "They're absolutely gonna take you." I said, "I don't even want to go to the audition, and it's not because I know you're better for it." I said, "But I don't. Even if it paid like $1 million, I don't really want to do this. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm gonna go for just the audition experience and just do it." And I said, "But it's not my thing. Like your rap music's not your thing. Like the whole R&B, like just that whole thing, just it wasn't really my thing. I said I'm gonna go, but then she started
Sure.
making fun of me. She's like, "Oh, your mom was making you go." She's like, and I was like, "Well, no, I said you're getting the call, like Marcy. There's you can play circles around all of us. There's nobody that's gonna be able to touch you. Like, and if they don't take you, they're idiots. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's like, she's insane. So she got the gig, but
Okay.
I understand what you're saying because like, and I went for the experience, but I didn't want it. I didn't want the gig, and I didn't care how
Sure.
much it paid. I
Sure.
really didn't care.
Yeah, and
Like
I've had some of those. I've had some of those that I regret. Um,
yeah.
but in the end, I landed in a good spot, and I'm cool. Yeah, like we
Everything happens for a
um
reason.
yeah, yeah. But like I've had a few where it was like Izzy was in this band and we played, and you remember Gavin DeGraw?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Gavin walked in and it was at the bitter end. It was right before I Don't Want to Be Free. Is that the
Mm-hmm.
first one?
Yeah.
It's right before that hit, like days before that hit. So no one knew who he was.
I don't want to be.
Yeah.
And want
And it
to
was
try to
like, and
be
he was kind,
me.
and he had a few, he was feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like, it was the bitter end. There was like 7 people
Yep.
there. We played and it was
Yeah.
like, whatever, who cares? And he like wanted us to keep playing and like, um, and was like, man, like, I just love you guys. Like, this is the band. Like, you're playing, you're songwriting, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, I got my own thing. Cool, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking that, and then literally like
Whoops.
3 days later, I don't want to be. And I was like, wait, I want to be. I want to be, man. I definitely want to be in your band
Yeah.
right now, you know? Um, but hey, and
Yeah,
I sent him emails. I was like, dude, like, no, no, really.
the
I
thing
did
is
it.
though, the thing is though, like you know when you're in alignment and when it feels good and you're supposed to be somewhere,
Sure.
I've met Gavin, I've met him through friends and I've
Hmm.
heard different things about him. He's he can be an odd fellow.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I would have crushed that
So
gig.
who knows? That might have saved you. That
Yeah.
might have saved you a lot of grief. It might have paid you a lot of money, but it also may have saved you a lot of grief. So
Yeah, might have.
and
Yeah, you're right. All those things usually happen for a reason.
yeah, and
But some
like I mean,
are
even
done.
with me and yeah, like even with me and Marcy, like Marcy and I would get called for different things, and I would end up always going down like the groovy singer songwriter rock thing,
Sure.
and that's where my heart was. That's where I was in alignment, and everybody I played with, I felt really good with, and then she kept going down, the R&B, the Latin, the stuff, and that's where she was completely aligned. And we would get called for different things, and it was funny because we would call each other up and go, "I think they should call you," and
This is
vice
your gig.
versa, this kind of thing. So
Sure, sure.
yeah, so but we have a couple minutes.
Well,
Aaron's being a smart aleck.
uh-oh, what
He's
happened?
saying the gig should be y'all sing a song? Question mark. Those guitars look awesome. How about I don't want to work? I just want to bang Jen's drums all day.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Aaron. I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with us. This is songs and stories, so lots of storytelling and songs and stuff. And Tracy has played a couple tunes for us, but I would love for you to play at least one, maybe two more for us.
Two
If
more or
yeah,
one? Yeah, I'll do two more. You want me to just a couple back to back? So
that would be great. I'll just be
Aaron's not all
quiet. We're just
pissed
gonna
at
listen
us.
to you, and we're gonna wrap right at 9 o'clock. So that'd be perfect.
Cool. All right, this one, these two are for Aaron. Um, we'll throw these out to him. What am I gonna play? So this is a fiction one. I was looking at a painting, and there were some boats and people, and it became a song. So
It's co-
this. There's a little strumming in this, but I will be quiet. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
It's not blowing us up, right?
You're good.
As the town stood by, they boarded the boats and set sail for fame and fortune. Some shed a tear, some drank to the past. Some of us praying we'd never be back. Some took on water and never left port. Swam back to join the rewarded. As the stones were cast, they saw the last mast. But they were too scared to try and too far gone. Some were quick to throw lines at the first hopeful sign, but their depths were a little distorted, while others still drift on an endless sea, wishing their anchors were just a bit longer. The unfortunate few who crashed on the rocks, their bodies would never recover. They thought they just stared at the breach and wished they were home. But they were too scared to try and too far gone. For a small few who managed the breaks and found that bay of glory, where their struggles rewarded, they found roots to grow and lived out their side of the story, I'm told. As the years went by, they took stock of their nets. Yes, they were folk, happy, content, yet they still dreamt of home like a siren song. They were too scared to try and too far gone. Too scared to try and too far gone. Too scared to try. That was too far gone, as you may have guessed. And then this one, I guess we're going to close with this. It's a good one. It's about a closing song. It's written in 3 parts. One starts at an 8th grade dance. You start at an 8th grade dance, you wind up in a bar, and then it's right here, this moment. Like it literally were in the song.
Okay, cool.
Which is cool. Yeah, and it starts. It's funny. I actually the first verse is a bit of reality, and I actually talked to this girl, and I thought like I probably make it up because I make up most things. I just make up stories. But I talked to her for a second, and she was like, and I said, like, were you together at an 8th grade dance? And she, like, her only response was this. She's like, Stairway to Heaven. I said, it was you. Oh my God. Yeah, that was like always the last song at our dance.
Absolutely.
Stairway to Heaven. So, yeah. So. Let's see if I remember this one. There's a lot going on here, but we'll see what happens. On the wrong side when the night finally came to an end, wasted and shattered, I don't think that they'd understand. I swear I tried, but she was too far gone when the time came to make the last stand. But the music had stopped and the night slipped away in our hands. The band stops playing, you know it's time to go home. And the pain that you felt returns as you walk out the door. I wish you could stay and they would keep playing and the last dance would never end. But nothing's forever and the night slips away in our hands. Do you remember when we were young at heart? First time you fell apart, over and over again. And the night slipped away in our hands. The best is yet to come, never worked for me. Looking back, my old songs seem naive, but I'll keep singing so you can all dance. We'll ignore the sands, but nothing's forever and the night slips away in our hands. Yeah, nothing's forever and the night slips away in our hands.
That's awesome.
Thank you much.
All right, everybody. Tracy, thank you so much for doing this. It's so
Thanks
good
for
to
having
see
me.
you and connect.
Yeah, absolutely. I
This
was
has been
excited when you
songs.
asked me.
Absolutely. This has been Songs and Stories. We're going to say goodnight. Make sure you go check out Tracy, Tracy Walton on Bandcamp, and then also Belle of the Fall at belleofthefall.com. And yeah, you got it, Rusty and Tina. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Aaron. Good seeing you guys. And Tracy, I'm going to call you at another time and we're going to do video tech talk.
Sounds good. Yeah, and if anyone's in Connecticut and needs a record made, hit me
Yeah,
up.
get in touch
Do
with
it.
Tracy. He's the goods. He's the good.
Sounds good. Okay, see ya. I
Can
just hang
I?
up now. That's
Yeah, you
it.
can.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up right now.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao.